There's a very interesting recycling trick, turning an empty lighter into a homemade hand tool that many people may have heard of. Prepare an empty lighter and I'll guide you through the steps. This might take a little while since there are quite a few lighters in this basket. I'll try to find one that's completely out of fuel so we can get started. There's really nothing surprising about it. In this project, the plastic casing of the empty lighter will be reused as the body and handle of the soldering iron, while the remaining parts will be removed because they don't serve any useful purpose for this build. To make the next assembly steps easier, I'll drill a hole straight through the lighter casing from the top to the bottom. Next, I have a basket full of old spark plugs. I'll pick one to use as the head of the homemade soldering iron, since this part not only acts as the connection between the handle and the soldering tip, but also transfers heat very efficiently to the tip area, helping the heating process stay stable and more evenly distributed during use. In my left hand, I'm holding a small electrical connector strip with 2 screw terminals, taken from a terminal block. I'll use this part as an intermediate connector to join the homemade soldering tip to the threaded end of the spark plug. As for the threaded body of the spark plug, I will fix it securely inside the lighter casing. Here, I've prepared a piece of electrical wire to connect the heating tip assembly to the power supply. To keep the connection safe during movement and use, I'll use electrical insulation tape to secure a section of the wire along the ceramic part of the spark plug. At the other end of the electrical wire, I'll attach an alligator clip so it's easier to connect to the power source. If you've been following my previous videos about making a homemade soldering iron, you're probably already familiar with how I reuse the inner core to craft the soldering tip. This material has the advantage of withstanding high temperatures, providing stable heat conduction, and being relatively easy to shape, making it very suitable for use as a soldering tip in DIY projects like this. I'll continue by making another tool to make the homemade soldering system more complete. This tool is made from 3 parts, a piece of electrical wire and 2 alligator clips. Once finished, one end will connect to the power source, while the other end will be used to connect to the item being soldered. For the power source in this project, I prioritize using a small battery. Its advantage is that it provides just enough power for operation while also helping reduce the risk of short circuits or burning during use. I'll go over a few requirements that a standard soldering iron should meet. First, it needs to heat up quickly and maintain a stable temperature throughout operation. Second, the soldering tip must transfer heat efficiently while maintaining precision when working on small joints. In addition, the device must be safe to use, minimizing electrical leakage and preventing uncontrolled overheating. Finally, a soldering iron should have a solid, comfortable design that allows the user to work accurately and comfortably for extended periods. In the testing phase I'm doing here, I won't give my own evaluation. I'll leave that to you. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments so we can discuss it together. And that's the entire process of building and testing a homemade soldering iron from what once seemed like discarded materials. It may not be perfect, and there's definitely room for improvement, but experiments like this often open the door to new ideas and practical directions. If you found this video interesting, leave a comment with your thoughts, because sometimes a different perspective is exactly what completes a project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next experiment, where old, forgotten things might just turn into something surprisingly useful.